Your reaction to what you've heard from the Palestinian president at the UN today?
This has been very, very exciting time, and for me listening, it was very emotional. I was very excited, and I think I'm not alone. Tens of thousands of Palestinians are out in the streets now in different Palestinian cities, definitely in Ramallah. There are fireworks. People are very excited. We know that it's not necessarily going to lead to an actual state, even if the UN votes for a Palestinian state, which unfortunately is unlikely. But for the Palestinians to do this, for the Palestinian leader to show boldness and to actually go to the UN and say, enough is enough, we're not going to just follow whatever we're told to do. 20 years of negotiations have resulted in nothing except losing more and more land, is an exciting thing to see where Palestinian leadership are actually doing what they're supposed to do.
Shira, your reaction?
I think that for Israelis have different opinions towards this day. Some Israelis are happy and supportive of the Palestinians. Other Israelis fear this day and fear what will happen the day after a Palestinian state is declared. Personally, I must say that I am pro a declaration for a Palestinian state, and negotiations can come afterwards.
Aziz.
I don't think any negotiations will happen anytime soon, and mainly because I really don't see the current Israeli government making any changes in its opinions. There have been growing settlements in a faster rate than ever before. The settlers' actions in the West Bank has become more and more aggressive, where you have mosques being burned almost on a weekly basis. So I don't see any negotiations. I think the Palestinian direction at the moment should be two ways. There's one, international and diplomatic direction through going to the UN. And the second is the nonviolent resistance, which President Abbas talked about today, and focus on bringing Israelis and Jewish activists to the West Bank to struggle with Palestinians nonviolently to achieve a Palestinian state. There is really no other way. Negotiations have failed through the last 20 years, have failed before that, and it's time for the international community to take its place and to actually deliver what it did in South Sudan or other countries.
Shira, Aziz says that negotiations have failed in the past, so this is the only way forward. Do you buy that?
I think that one of the things that Aziz didn't mention was the fact that Israelis don't feel that the Palestinians are only pro nonviolence, and I think that many Israelis fear that concerning Hamas, for example, and rockets that have been shot towards the south of Israel, there is a fear this will continue after any kind of declaration in the UN. And I think negotiations are important to be after any kind of declaration in order to make it possible for Hamas and Fatah to sit together and to talk to the Israeli government.
Aziz, Shira voicing her concerns about Hamas. Of course, Abbas doesn't represent Hamas. He represents Fatah. But do you understand her concerns?
Yes, I understand the concern about Hamas, but I think what we have to see is the progress that's happening in the West Bank. And if Abbas, for once, the Palestinians able to do something in a diplomatic way that is successful, it will, I think, reach Hamas as well. Hamas said they're not against the state, by the way. I think they have been enforcing a ceasefire in Gaza. And I believe if a Palestinian state is established, they want to be part of it. They're not going to go against it. That is the belief of most Palestinians. But also, it's important to mention, and President Abbas did a brilliant job communicating this today, this is not an anti-Israel thing. Declaring a Palestinian state is not an anti-Israel thing. It is the last chance that Israel has for a two-state solution. And to me, it's really funny that the Palestinians are the ones that fighting for the two-state solution here, when it's becoming a non-viable option slowly. So we either going to get the two-state solution soon and the recognition of the international community, or we're going to end up having a de facto one-state civil rights where Palestinians says we want equal rights, which is something Israel has been very much against.
Shira, is this a good or bad day for you as an Israeli?
I think that I can only speak for myself, and I can say that for me, this is a good day. But it's definitely a day of fearing for what will come next, because this could be a positive day for the Middle East, and this day could also cause another wave of violence in this region. And it's important for me to add that Main Street Israel is pro a two-state solution, but we vary on when and how. And the Palestinian authorities must convey to the Israeli people that they reject any kind of violence. Because if the Palestinian authorities do not convince the Israeli streets, the mainstreams, the soldier in the checkpoint, that they are committed to non-violence, then we will have a problem to create any kind of peace agreement in the future.